Hello guys, welcome back. This is Dr. Hadi here and you are watching my channel Medical Globe for advanced biochemistry and medical subjects. Today's topic is how an enzyme decrease the energy of activation, or how an enzyme speed up a chemical reaction. You know, lot of chemical reactions are taking place inside a living cell inside our body. But do you know what would happen if enzyme were not there? The chemical reaction inside our body would proceed in months or even in years. This is a very great blessing that in our body the nature has placed this kind of special molecule called enzyme, with the help of which the chemical reaction become very much faster. Okay, fine. Now, how this enzyme speed of a chemical reaction? The answer is simple, that enzyme actually decrease the energy of activation. Here lot of confusion arise in the mind of students. The first confusion is what is this energy of activation? What this energy of activation is? The very first thing I will explain you what is energy of activation, and then I will also explain how this energy is decreased, both substrate diagram wise and of course this diagram means from graphic point of view. Most of the books you will see a graph explaining this topic. Okay, first comes to the energy of activation. Energy of activation is that minimum amount of energy which is required for the reactants. You know what is reactant? A reactant are those molecules which are going to react with each other in order for the reaction to take place. Reacting molecules are reactants. For example, we are going to react A plus B to get C. So A plus B is our reactant and C is our product. So this is the reactant. Now, if you want the reactant to start a chemical reaction, before they start the reaction, they require some input of energy. What they require? They required some input of energy. They require it. Once you provide this energy, then the reaction will start. So this energy which is required for the chemical reaction to start, which is required for the reactant to convert into product, this energy is called the activation energy. It is just the energy that you give in the beginning, and then the reaction will start. Just like you push a car engine is not working, and you push the car, and after just a slight push, car's engine start running and it can cover its distance then by itself. So here is the case with the energy of activation. Let me give you one more good example, one more beautiful example of the substrate molecule. Look at the rectangular box that you can see. These are just the substrate molecules. In place of this reactant, you can also call them substrate. You can call these as a substrate. So that reactant is also your substrate. You can call it substrate because you use the word substrate. The topic is about what? About the enzyme. So when there is enzyme, definitely this word substrate would come. Substrate are those substances on which the enzyme act. For example, if enzyme act on glucose, so glucose is your substrate. If enzyme act on carbonic acid, so carbonic acid is your substrate. Whatever enzyme act on, these things will be substrate. So a definitely reactant would be your substrate. Fine. So you can call it substrate. Now these are the boxes shows molecules. These are our molecules. You can also call these molecules as our substrate. You can call these our substrate. You can even call these as reactants. Okay, now these reactants, these substrate molecules will convert into product. If you see the arrangement here, they are not these molecules are not properly arranged. So in order to start reaction of the substrate molecule, what we provide slight energy. We provide some amount of energy, not slight but some amount of energy here. Energy. This is what? This is energy. So we provide energy to these substrate molecules, and that energy could be in the form of heat. That energy could be in the form of heat if enzyme is not there. In some reactions you provide heat. So this heat, which is a sort of energy that you provide to these molecules, this molecule will attain proper arrangement. This is what? Proper arrangement. These molecules are now properly arranged. These are now properly arranged. Now when molecules are properly arranged, then there is a chance of more collision. This sign is for increase collision. Increase collision means molecules will strike with each other. As a result of this increased collision, the speed of the reaction, the speed or the rate of reaction will increase. It's a very simple idea, simple science behind how enzyme, speed of the chemical reaction, everything is here. I would like to repeat that molecules are in such an order that they cannot collide effectively, strike with one another effectively. When you provide little bit heat energy, because of this heat energy, the molecules attain another proper arrangement. Because of this proper arrangement, these molecules can collide, strike with one another very, very effectively. As a result of this effective collision, the reaction rate is increased, means the speed is increased. Fine. What you provided here is energy. You provide energy in the form of heat. This energy is your activation energy. This energy is your activation energy. Okay, this is your activation. I hope you got this. What is activation energy? Fine. If you don't provide this activation energy, reaction will not start. So that's why you must provide this activation energy. You must provide this activation energy. Now, if this activation energy is very, very, very high, what will you do? You will provide more heat, because the reaction will not start until you provide the required energy. So if a reaction has, because every reaction has activation energy, if a reaction has high energy of activation, let me write it here. This is energy of activation. If a reaction has a high energy of activation, let me just write these double arrows to show you that high energy of activation. Because of the high energy of activation, the speed of reaction will be less. The speed of reaction will be less. Why? Because you need to provide more heat, more energy. So if you don't have sufficient amount of heat energy, then it is not possible for this reaction to start earlier. As a result, it will be a slow reaction. That is why our target should decrease this activation energy. We should do what? We should decrease this activation energy. As a result of this decreased activation energy, the speed of reaction will increase. These two are always inversely proportional to each other. If you decrease one, the other will definitely increase, and vice versa. This was just one example where a reaction where substrate molecule were there and you provide heat, some reactant molecules. Now there is another diagram you can see here. Here once again substrate molecules are there. What we have mentioned here, disorder, these are not in proper arrangement. And now again these molecules become properly arranged. As a result of this proper arrangement, Same thing happen, proper arrangement, collision, rate of reaction. In this case, we are not providing heat. In this case, we are not providing heat. In this case, we are providing what? Special molecules called enzyme. Enzyme, this time helping us, our substrate molecules, to attain proper shape. So what we need is a kind of providing a heat, but if you use enzyme, you will not need heat. You will not require heat. Heat provides you the activation energy. Here, enzyme will provide the energy of activation. But this is a little bit more confusing here. An enzyme is not providing energy of activation. Enzyme will decrease already existing energy of activation, as I already mentioned, that every reaction requires some sort of energy to start. If you add enzyme, enzyme will decrease that energy of activation. As a result, the speed of reaction will increase. Now, come to the graph here. This is our graph. Before we explain this graph, let me tell you one thing more, that the reactant and product is a chemical reaction. Reactant, you must keep this in mind, that reactant has high energy. You must keep this in mind, otherwise you will not be able to get this diagram. And once a reactant convert into product, the product has decreased energy. Don't worry about energy of activation. Forget about now energy of activation. Overall, generally, whether it is a reactant or product, both are what? Both are molecules. Reactants are also molecules. Products are also molecule. Both reactant and products have their own energy. The issue is that reactant has high energy, product has less energy. This is clear. Now, if we draw a graph where the y-axis, at y-axis, we do not have anything on the x-axis. Don't worry. At the y-axis, we put energy. I mean, this is 0 energy, this is 10, this is 50, 100. Means if you go up, the energy is increasing. If you go up, the energy is increasing. Now, let me spot the reactant and product here on the y-axis. This spot is our reactant, where I have mentioned reactant R, and this spot is our product P. Can you tell me that from this diagram can you guess that which molecule has high energy, reactant or product? Definitely reactant has high energy, product has less energy, because the product is lower here at this level. So this line is our product energy and this is our reactant energy. So the reactant has high energy and product is low energy. When a reaction starts and it is completed, then what will happen? That our reactant energy will become like this. This is the diagram. Reactant energy decrease from this level. This is energy level. Fine. This is what? This is energy level. So reactant move from one energy level to another energy level. This is another energy level. Definitely this is decreased energy level and this is increased energy level. A reactant is converting into product. This happens. And this is very simple. Nothing is here to explain. Let me tell you now about the activation energy. Now come, your reactant is here. It has not yet completed into product. Before the reaction start, reactant require what? Require some extra energy, some amount of energy. This energy, this line, you can see it is going up and then it is coming down. So this diagram that you can see here, this is a kind of peak. This diagram shows the energy that you must provide. If you spot from here to here, because the peak of this will touch here, and this is our extra energy. Look, from here to here, this is our extra energy you should provide. This energy you can also write here. This is the extra energy. This energy is called energy of activation. From the graph is energy of activation. This is energy of activation. Now if your reactants are there and now you want to convert reactant into product, then you must provide this energy barrier. You must provide this energy. Then if you provide this energy, then the reaction will start, reactant will convert to product. Then this will happen. Okay, this is the diagram of a reaction in the absence of enzyme. Now the enzyme is not there. Okay, reaction has happened and now you provide a lot amount of energy. In other words, this reaction is very, very difficult. It's much difficult because of this barrier. A very big problem is there. Means this is a kind of a barrier. So the reaction is probably reaction will not take place because of this problem. A very large amount of energy is required, so the reaction may not take place. So what our strategy will be here? Once again, the graph is there. Now this spot represents our product. This is our product and this is our reactant. Similarly, we can draw a line here like this. Oh my god, this is our reactant line, energy line, and it's a product line. In this case, a reactant will require slight amount of energy, a very slight amount of energy, and then it will convert from reactant into product. You can see these two lines are both same, means reactant is converting into product, high energy converting into low energy, high energy into low. There is no issue with this line, black line. The issue is, interesting thing is with this green color. And this green color you can see here, from this level the peak appears, the peak of this appear here. So only you are providing only this kind of energy, only this amount of energy, a slight amount of energy. This is your energy of activation, EA. But here the energy of activation is very, very high. In this case the energy of activation has decreased. So this barrier is little bit easy for, let's suppose this is a mountain, a rock. If someone is standing here, and a large rock is there, and he or she has to climb over it, reach the peak, he or she has to consume a lot of energy. But if the rock is like this, and this person can very easily climb on this in order to reach here. So there is easiness for this person and difficulty for this person. Similarly, this kind of reaction will happen with speed, and this kind of reaction will happen with the difficulty. That is why we say enzyme did what? Enzyme just decrease the energy of activation from this level to, let's suppose this one, yeah, from this level to this level. So increase energy of activation in the absence of enzyme, and the presence of enzyme only a decrease amount, slight amount of energy of activation. So I hope this diagram clear your concept here, how the enzyme decrease the energy of activation. We have done it. Okay, so see you in the next video. Till then, bye bye.